Welcome, survivors, to episode 4 of Arc Highlights. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about the difference between admin commands and server settings. Now, when playing Ark Survived Evolved, some players will choose to join the official server network where the servers are run by a wildcard themselves. A small number may choose to play single player where the player controls the server themselves, and that's just one person. And then the rest of the players will choose to play on a private server owned by another player who controls the server and pays for it themselves, which is how my tribe, play on Ark. So if you play on the official server network, this episode of Ark Highlights may not be of your interest. The astute one, you will also notice that I was specifically mentioning who is in control of the server. This will be important later on. To understand the difference between admin commands and server settings, we must first look at what the words we are using to describe these actually mean and their precise meanings in accordance with the dictionary. So we're going to take the meanings from the Oxford English Dictionary, so apologies to get a little bit boring, but starting with admin. It is a noun. It means the administration of a business, organisation, etc. Following that, we have command. It is both a noun and a verb. Starting with the verb, the first meaning is give an authoritative or permanentory order, and the second meaning is dominate a strategic position from a superior height, sort of like what I'm doing now, basically. If I was to, there was a bunch of dinos down here, I would be on a strategic position from a superior height, so to speak. As a noun, command means an authoritative order or the ability to use or control something. Next up, the meanings for server. It is a noun. The first meaning, a person or thing that serves. The second meaning is a computer or computer program which manages access to centralized resource or service in a network. And finally, the meanings for setting. It is a noun with a plural noun settings. Firstly, the place or type of surroundings where something is positioned or where an event takes place. Second meaning, a piece of metal in which a precious stone or gem is fixed to form a piece of jewelry. Thirdly, a piece of vocal or choral music composed for particular words. And the final meaning, a speed, height or temperature at which a machine or device can be adjusted to operate. So I firstly apologise for getting rather technical and more than likely very boring, but it is very important. There's a strict difference between what an admin command is and what a server setting is, and it seems both of these are being placed under the same banner. Basically, that an admin command and a server setting are the same, and clearly when you strip them down to their base meanings, they are very different. So an admin command is you using your administrative access to give the game an authoritative order for you to use something, control something, or spawn something in. A server setting which can only be changed by the person who pays for the server, or if you play single server player, therefore that can only be changed at the start when you play. So when you first come to choose the map that you play on single player, the only time you can change that setting is at the start of the game. So you have really very limited choice on single player, whereas when you're on a server, you can change those settings any time and then reset the server, basically. This is you adjusting the setting of the centralized service. You are permanently changing something to the game. Faster taming, faster breeding, faster flying, no cryo sickness, allow cave building, allow raid taming, that's the taming of the Titanosaur, allow those who have lives outside of Ark to actually play the game and still enjoy life. I understand that there are people who are against this stuff, but I want them to answer me a single question. A wyvern on an official server takes more than 7 days to fully mature to an adult. So that's from egg incubation all the way through to maturation to adult. You have to be on for all of that time. I believe the requirement may be every 3 hours to get a 100% imprint on the baby. You also work Monday to Friday, 9 AM to 7:30 PM. 5:30 PM rather, sorry, with a 1 hour commute. You are unable to get to your Xbox until at least 7 PM. This was, let's say this was before the May Wing, and you're doing this on a solo server. You're doing this solo, so that's without any people to help. And let's say a PvP official server with an added risk of danger, and let's say on the Volgaro map. How does the baby wyvern hatch into an adult? You have no tribe to help, no allies to help you with the raising of the baby. You could leave the gate open, have a chance of theft there, or worse, the possibility of leaving the door open and for it to be killed. And the point I'm just sort of make is that our breeding and maturation settings and hatching settings are really there to aid in convenience, to avoid us having to sit there for hours and hours on end and having to do that. We have lives. That situation that I've described happens to nearly everybody. I know a lot of people where that happens to. So I guess it is a question of, do you accept that, or do you just not have wyverns? And not anything else that takes longer, because it all takes longer eventually. We run a server for convenience, I guess, and that's how I see it. To enable that example, hopefully by the end of this video, I will have a juvenile Arano, or let's say spider, for example. So these are two spiders because I'm hoping to do a video about the TLC 3 update, which enabled you to ride and tame spiders now. And I'm very much hoping to do that. So hopefully by the end of this video we will have a baby spider. So let's just see, and I will state for the record, we are on a PvE server. Our breeding is a little bit up. Not our breeding, our maturation rate is a little bit higher than the official anyway, so it shouldn't take too long. But we will hide behind this rock and wait for the inevitability of a thing to happen. I've just realised this space is not actually ready to have a hatchery yet, because I've not done anything for that, which is hilarious. Now, I'm not suggesting that you shouldn't play on the official server network, because the official server network has its advantages. Of course, it does, and I'm not suggesting we should not play on private servers. Of course, I'm not saying anything against either option, because both are fantastic. This is not exactly ideal, but we will place maybe not. Yeah, but the advantages of playing on a private server means that we're able to get our hands on creatures that would take days for players on official to get their hands on. A Giga that on a server that takes around, as I said, 7 days to fully mature to adult, takes around 1 day to fully mature to adult, which can be done at a weekend, which is a lot more convenient for us, especially because we work. And look at that, we have an egg already, so that's great news. And before I forget, we must disable mating, because what will happen is it will go round again when that's ready to happen again, and we don't want that. I think for the meantime we're just going to put this down here. Interesting. I've never actually used one of these before. Requires 100%. Okay. Hatch egg. Dear, 100% what? Well, this is incredibly useful. Okay, while I quickly work out that, I'm going to keep talking for a minute. So, just something worth of note about admin commands. They are not cheats. You will notice I've chosen my wording very carefully regarding that. And I should have planned this a bit more better when I wanted to do oh, I'm going to breed within the video. At least this will look hilarious. The joys of live recording, hey everybody? Talk amongst yourselves. Don't panic. I'm just going to quickly Google the egg incubator. If not, we'll do it another way. More than one way to hatch an egg. I was going to say more than one way to skin a cat, but that's not technically true. Okay, here we go, everybody. Let's have a look at the... And what's better is we all get to learn about the egg incubator together. Oh, I see. Aha! Gotcha. I think. Damn. Well, this has gone well. But up here, I don't think it's the incubator that's the issue. I think it's the... Aha! Whoops. Hold on then. Well, this has gone well. Right. I'll have to do this the old-fashioned way and figure out that another time. Well, this has gone amazingly well. At least you get to see the structure placement collision in action, which we'll talk about later, which is the whole building into the scenery thing. That's important. Ay, ay, ay. This is the last time I ever do anything off the fly. Ay, ay, ay. Hairbrained scheme gone wrong, I would think. Some of those, then I'm going to hopefully very quickly or not. Oh, there they are. That's fine. Ugh. Mm. You should get to see creative mode as well in action. Magically spawning things in. It's sort of what I want to talk about really is that, you know, it's not really cheating, as I'm not really gaining any form of advantage. It's just more of a, oh, I want these things. And the game makes them appear. Think Star Trek, only less technical, I guess. I think that's a probably easier analogy. Oh, that was the wrong gate. That was also not the right either. It's a comedy of errors. At least we'll have spares. I name the quote of that film. There we are. One hatchery sort of. Oh, darn. Somewhere, someone is laughing at me. Because really, it's all gone wrong. which is nice because it does kind of show that not everything what I do goes right. Let's see if I can get this right. Oh, I wish I had that much air conditioning in my house. Sorry, that was a very bad joke. I think we're going to need one more just to fill in that gap. This has turned into a let's play, look. Careful, I might end up stealing someone's future thunder. There we are. Right. Oh no. Oh. Oh, I see. It had already hatched. Oh, how perfectly confusing that is. Well, that was fast. Okay, well. Oh dear. But that was a bit risky because I shouldn't have done that, but never mind. Right. Oh no. Oh, it looks quite cute when it's small, doesn't it? Oh, it's all purple, look. Let's get it on a close follow as well. There we are. Did I just change following distance or did I change something else drastic? Oh, what a comedy of errors that was. Well, that was... oh dear. Well, at least now we know what those green arrows meant on the egg. It means it's hatched. And that was incredibly fast. I mean, blimey. I'm going to have to read up on that egg incubation. Anyway, as you can clearly tell, we have a baby Arano. And while I'm getting this to the position it needs to be in... oh, look at that. Well, there you go. It's already juvie from the walk to the hatchery to the feeding trough. And there you have it. That is, simply put, job done. I said by the end of the video, and we're only halfway through. Oh dear. Right, so while I deal with that mistake, and I will probably edit some of that out, so it's simply put, you're not, when you type admin sheet, that is simply just the code that's relevant for the admin command. Also, there's a strict difference between a cheat and spawning something in. So let's just take this back to basic meanings again, shall we? So we're taking this back to the Oxford English Dictionary. So a cheat is someone who acts dishonestly or unfairly in order to gain an advantage, or you avoid something undesirable by luck or skill. Now, the noun meanings: a person who behaves dishonestly in order to gain an advantage. To spawn, which is a verb, appear at a certain point in the game, or number 2, produce or generate a large number of. Now, it's my belief that the creative mode is spawning in, which is generating a large number of walls or ceilings or weapons or creatures, whatever is required in the game. It clearly isn't cheating, no advantage has been gained and you haven't avoided something undesirable. As you clearly saw, I'm in creative mode and I was able to set up the new hatchery that I needed very quickly, which is incredibly helpful. You know, we needed a hatchery, I needed somewhere to get the baby grown in a short space of time. And, you know, I will now be putting, because this is how I want to have my future hatcheries, is I want to have, and hopefully this works, three egg incubators in here, because that's how many you can have, and they're all powered and ready to go, thanks to you. There's a large amount of tech generators in the area. And now I will start researching how these work and start using these, because these will be very useful. And I will start implementing these across other servers as well, because this is a sort of my standard size. It's a sort of 4 wide thing, so I'll start moving toward that sort of system. So it's interesting. There's nothing been gained, and I've not avoided anything undesirable by spawning that in, other than a potential loss of the baby. But again, that can't happen either, because a certain fence or wall is all around our community centre here. So ending commands are also very helpful, particularly for getting element on a regular basis. So as you can see, I like element, very helpful for running of the weapons that I need to have. Also handy for getting rare materials, which you can farm only one of, like the mutagen to tame the Astrodelphus. Very very helpful for that as well. Or for getting plant X or plant species R, so to speak. This is our greenhouse using the new tech crop plots. There are several commands that I believe get a lot of stick, like the one I'm in now, creative mode. If I wanted to just enjoy building really cool structures without worrying about health, stamina, weight, or water and food, that is what creative mode is, for those who enjoy building without limits, without the need of gathering resources as well. Side note, this is not God mode, that's a separate mode which works on both creatures and survivors. Creative mode will only apply to survivors and is no longer giving infinite animation as well. Creative mode is in effect an admin command mode which enables you to command the game to make you have 20 ceilings or 20 walls, etc., without the need of typing admin command every time you require that. Another command is admin command set target dino color, another one of my favourites as well. And we're going to use that now, but I'm going to move away from other creatures in case I do it to someone's by accident. Again, it's another one of my favourites because essentially you are using the colour list of Arc, and again this is a list of colours that is currently available. I will put the link to it in the description. Originally people thought if you use this command on your dinos then you won't be able to breed them because the colours do not work. This is not the case. It is the opposite. The colours do indeed work as you're colouring the mutation system. More on that in the Pacific Arc Highlights episode for that. And then finally there is Force Tame. This is an admin command that I used to abuse a lot, but I now prefer to tame the traditional way, unless the tame is difficult or requires special resources to get hold of. I won't be showcasing Force Tame today, but I will showcase admin cheats at target dino color, just because it's a bit interesting and a little bit more fun to do. So we will do that now. So as you can see, what you have to always remember, so every admin cheat has to be copied word for word, so you can't just type in anything. So you can't just type in kill and then command and then it will kill the thing in front of you. You have to type in admin cheat. Everything has to have admin cheat. It's the coding of the game. It's built into the game code. So everything has to start with admin cheat. If you're spawning in items, then that requires, or creatures, that requires admin cheat GFI. Items, consumables, weapons, structures, all requires GFI. Don't ask me why GFI, it just requires GFI every time. If you're doing a command like Force Tame, then that just requires admin cheat Force Tame. Again, don't ask me why. And things like that. So that just simple. So the commands just require the command, but the items and structures and weapons just require the GFI. Things like admin cheats that target dino color, you do need to get everything right. So I'll walk you through it. So we've got admin cheat, as you can see. So we will do set and then target, then if I can actually spell, then dino, and then color. And it is the American spelling of color, I'm afraid. Now, first, then it is region. So there are 5 regions. There are 6 regions on a dino. Sorry, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. These are the mutation regions. So each dino has 6 of these regions, but not all of these regions are active. So you can't paint each of these regions. So it's very. What I tend to do is I just tend to go across each number, regardless of whether I can paint them all or not. and do it that way. That way, if I can't do it, it doesn't matter, but I know I've gone across all numbers. So I always start with 0, and then I know a few numbers off by heart. 1 is red, 3 is green, 4 is yellow, 14 is black, 'There's a couple of others that I do know, and I think I might have got green and yellow. I think 3 might be cyan actually, 4 is yellow, and I think 5 might be green. 14 is definitely black, and I think white is 18 or something like that. But the numbers are weird, so as I say, follow the link that I've put in the description and you'll get the complete list of ARC colours, and there's like 126 odd colours or something like that you can use, and like it's different shades of greens and different shades of blues and different shades of yellows and reds and pinks and all that jazz, all the new colours, the new fandangled colours they use. So what colour shall I choose? This is usually the moment I would open up the list, but I already have a vague idea what I'm going to do. So as you can see, I already knew 14 was black, so that was colour region 0. So then all you need to do, if you want to keep going with black, you can leave the number there and just change the 0 to a 1, press enter, hit add in command again, and you'll paint the rest black. And as you can see, you've changed the region. Always use something with a crosshair, so I tend to use my tech rifle for it, because it's the best one to use. Sometimes it seems to work the best. Just because I know a little bit about the rock drakes and their colour regions, because this is not the first time I've painted a rock drake. I'm going with 2 and then 4. I don't think 2 is a paintable region. And we would have noticed because 4, I believe, is yellow. So we would notice a significant change. So we'll keep going. There you go. So as you can see, you get quite a dramatic effect there. It's looking quite nice. Oh yes. I quite like that actually. And then, just to make sure I completely know what I'm doing, I'm going to do 5, 14, just to do more of a black. We've sort of got a black and yellow vibe, and when he does that, you get this beautiful pattern, which looks quite pretty when he flies. So that's sort of your basics on the set target dino colour, and there are certain reasons why I do it. I don't do it all the time. I try not to do it on my text stegos. I try to leave those to natural mutations unless I really have to. There are certain dinos that I'm looking at now that I might have done it to, for obvious reasons. Particularly with the Astradelphus, because I have a certain affiliation for yellow, and for anyone who's familiar with a certain YouTube channel, they'll know why that's that. And I'm not going to mention it for reasons. I probably shouldn't even have shown it. But as you can see, you know, colours are important, and eventually I'll probably start work on the Maywings, and certainly the Oranos will be. Oh, look at that! Blimey! So that was juvenile the last time we checked it, and it is now adult. There you go. Worth it. So enough about adequate commands, because unfortunately I can't show the actual server settings, but I can show a few of them in action. As you saw, we've already seen structure placement collision, so that's the where you can build inside the landscape, which allows us to build on sloping hills. Again, I can show off a little bit about that with the greenhouse as well, because that's on a very odd area. So again, that one's there as well, as you can see, and also with all of the way we can place things anywhere. Really does help. Another one I enjoy is no cryo sickness, so that's another one that's quite good, handy to have. And for that, I'm going to need to quickly make one of these. I'm pretty sure this counts as abuse, but hey ho. Come on. Here we go. So this means any dino stored inside a cryopod will not suffer any cryo sickness after leaving. Thirdly, oh yeah, anyway, so for this, like this for example, voila. So rather than you having to stand there for half an hour waiting for cryo sickness to remove, it doesn't. So that's nice and helpful. Thirdly, as some of you may be aware, there'll be a server setting coming, which will allow you to level the movement of your flyers via the movement speed. I'm looking forward to implementing that on the server that I currently have. Something that I've done in the past is increase the spawn rate of certain creatures, particularly the tech creatures. This is something that the tribe know well in the past. It's not something that I'm particularly keen on doing again, because it was very stressful and took a while for the population of the creatures that remained, because unfortunately, eventually, the tech quetzals just swarmed everywhere, so that they had to go, and it was just the tech stegos that remained, and they were taking over. So it was a very clustered map. There wasn't a lot of meat, let's say that. But it was an abundance. But it was a nice learning curve as well. And it was something that I don't think I would ever rule out doing again, if I could learn how to control the numbers better. I think would be the lesson that would need to be learned. So, but who knows what would happen? And I think the crucial thing is that there are people who run very boosted servers and allow people to have free reign over their admin commands and just give them people the passwords willy-nilly. But there are also people who run slightly boosted servers for convenience and who make sure people can be trusted before handing over admin password, and it does depend on what type of people are running the server. And I got lucky. I found some very special people in the most unusual of places who are all now dear to me, and I personally believe that we do run a server for convenience rather than servers for just for the sake of boosting, and in my opinion that's better than some of the servers I've seen out there, certainly. And not that I'm saying boosted servers are wrong, but I would say that it is a personal choice. So each their own, and whatever you want to do it. So that's all for this unfortunately long episode of episode 4 for ARC highlights. But we have an adult, which is amazing, very quickly. I never noticed they had stingers. Be sure to check out the next episode in the series, Building on Ark. Also be sure to check out the next episode of Ark News, episode 19, a look at the Astradelphus. Be sure to hit that notification bell ding to stay up to date with the latest videos. Make sure to subscribe for more Ark videos and Ark News. Make sure to comment with any questions about anything in today's video or anything Ark related, and I will see you next time, survivors.